At times in the public space, you meet people arguing. Someone will tell you, I own a car. The other will say, you have a motor car. Within the media industry, we have cameramen, and you have people you could call camera carriers. Within the educational sector in Nigeria, you have schools and you have schools. How do you know which school to go to? And if you go to these schools, what curriculum are they transmitting or pushing into the Nigerian economy? Our focus today is the business schools in Nigeria. Are they available? Are they doing well? Are they functioning within the mandate of what the government is saying? What kind of curriculum are they carrying? Well, my guest is Emmanuel Ozigi. Emmanuel Ozigi is the director, Emmanuel Business School, Abuja. Thanks for joining me on Inside.
Thank you very much, sir.
A lot will ask, there came a time you have a proliferation of post-primary schools in Nigeria. Suddenly became universities. You have a lot of them in Nigeria. Recently, we hear so much about business schools, business schools. Now, why business schools in Nigeria? Why the business school, first of all?
Okay, first of all, you know, business school drives entrepreneurship. And the reason for entrepreneurship is because you want an economic growth. And when you want an economic growth in a developing economy like Nigeria, you need to acquire what's called you need to build a human capital. And when you build a human capital, there is a development in your human capital. And when you have this, it cascades into the quality of services you're going to get from the entrepreneurs. Not just, as you rightly say, having schools and having schools, or having traders and having traders. But you can see our quality in services, in products, and overall in terms of what we need to export out in terms of services and products too. That's why we need the business school just to remodel and at the same time to build the capacity of entrepreneurs. Okay,
if I still remember my elementary philosophy, we're taught the idol of the marketplace, the idol of the marketplace. Clearly, let's use that now. The Emmanuel Business School, where is it located?
It's at the Central Business District
in Abuja.
Yes.
Okay. What curriculum do you have?
Now, when you talk about curriculum,
or what kind of courses, programs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, because we are yet to be accredited by the given recognition by NUC because it needs to be registered. Now, what we have is that we are in partnership with ATHE in the United Kingdom, UK, and what we plan or what we are doing at the moment is that we've developed modules for our certificate courses. We run a pathway program. At the same time, we run executive programs for executives in the public sector, private sector, international donor agencies. So we have these three programs. Now, it depends on what you want as a person. At the same time, we have a program for very low-level people who just want to build their capacity, who want to know what exactly is business. Some people are running a business, but they don't know exactly what the business is like. So for you to understand, they want to know the strategy, the dynamics. What is the business climate of Nigeria? What is it like? Can I fit in? This is what I intend doing. Can I fit into it?
Will that in any way help in manpower development into the Nigerian economy?
Exactly.
Both in the public and private sectors?
Exactly. It's a human capital. We're looking at the human capital development overall. Because if you look at this critically, one of the areas where we are missing it, especially for products produced in Nigeria, where you think we cannot, it doesn't have a foreign face, is because there are certain things that is not put into it. For instance, somebody is producing a shoe in Abuja. He doesn't have the confidence that his product can as well compete with made in Italy. And until he has that mentality, he'll be able to now compete favorably. The essence of us coming in is not just because we want to give certificates or we want to be known as a business group, but at the same time put value to what is being done locally. So we are domesticating our curriculum, if you call it that way. We would domesticate our curriculum to suit Nigerian system.
Okay, so why should I, let me say, for example, I have two options now. Yeah. A very popular business school, whether outside the country or within the country. We know a number of them. Why should I leave, go into those ones and come to your own?
Okay.
What's so special about your own?
Now, what is special about ours is that, one, this is Nigerian based. And I'm sure the policy trust of this government and the country as a whole is to start domesticating what we have. At the same time, getting an idea of what we use what we have, at least to achieve what we want. Now, if we continue to fly out, I'm not saying it's bad. They already made names. They didn't just start today. We are starting, and we also get there and go behind. But what I'm saying is that people, those have made names. But at the same time, we need to look inward and use the resources, the human resource we have, to be able to develop the economy based on what we desire or how we want the economy to grow.
Okay. Now, let's leave that. Let's talk about affordability.
Okay.
How affordable is the school?
We've tried to make it very affordable. I'll tell you the pathway is very affordable. The reason for the pathway, I went into the pathway, is that there are some parents who wish, or students, who wish to fly outside Nigeria to go and do probably their first degree. And they cannot afford £10,000 or $20,000. But within us here, you can get it almost as half of that, because you enroll here, then you now go and do the rest 2 years outside the country. Then you can do that same pathway, gateway, between the masters and the postgraduate. You can have that. You can do the pathway here and do the MBA too. So it bridges almost at 50%, if not less, in terms of cost. But at the same time, it reduces risk. If you look at in terms of even social vices, social behavior that maybe a young person goes out to do, locally it erodes that, and gradually it reduces social vices. So we're trying to look at not only looking at the profitability side, we're looking at how we can impact or improve or support the growth of the economy in terms of having or remodeling people, future leaders, so that at least they'll be able to take on from where the current leaders are. So in terms of finance or cost, it's very affordable. Okay,
averagely, a capitalist believes in class. So this your school, is it for every class?
It's for every class.
How? Convincing?
What I mean it's for every class is that we stratify. If, for instance, if you want executive training, we have a classroom for executive training. If you want normal class training, we have that. If you have for the low level people who just want to come in to develop themselves, we have that. So it's not that we have it as a social strata. It's stratified into various categories where anybody can fit in.
Okay. Now let's imagine that maybe the cabinet office, maybe the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, or the office of the head of the civil service of the Federation, they approach Emmanuel Business School in Abuja and say, look, we want you to train executive officers to fit into what the present government is saying at the national level, at the state level, and at the local government level.
Yeah.
What kind of programs will you churn out?
Now, what it means is that...
Do you have such programs?
Yeah, we have.
Like what kind of programs?
We have executive programs, especially it all depends on the area they're coming from. If it's core human resource management, we have that. But if it's in terms of agencies or MDAs like NDIC, CBN, you have those ones. You can see that these ones are on the monetary, fiscal angle, financial institutions. We have those programs designed. Now, what I want you to understand is that we run a program now where we are involving even our local human resources, like the professors, the doctors we have locally here. They are all in our faculty. And these are people who are tested in various areas, and they are part of our faculty. Now, if we have this demand from the head of service, the first thing we need to do is to know which of the departments or agencies are coming. Now, we'll undertake what's called a need assessment, a training need assessment. What exactly? Because we cannot just give you a training what might not be of benefit to you. We need to have an interaction with you to know exactly what you are looking at. So when we have that interaction, we will have what's called a training need assessment, a report on that. Upon that, we develop a module. On that module will now define, and from that module, you'll be able to measure impact. And thereafter, you know, the output of the training. Because we are looking at the impact. How will it impact in the economy, in the daily schedule, the task you are being assigned with. And I think that's the main objective of the training, yes.
Okay. Now we talk a lot about public service reforms.
Yeah.
And your school is approached now. So can you help out?
Yes.
Can you do that?
Exactly.
How will you handle that?
I worked in the European Union for a program for about almost 12 years. I was basically on governance reform program. Our key objective is reforming institutions. And over that period, I gained experience on what exactly an institution should be, especially public institutions, how it should work. And on that premise, with my wealth of experience and my colleagues, I'm sure we're able to develop modules of training that will assist in that area.
Okay. Who are your affiliates? Are you a standalone?
No, we're not standalone. I told you earlier when we started that we have, first of all, we have about 16 universities in the UK that we are using this pathway with. And at the same time, we're having ATHE Accreditation is a center. So we are ATHE Accreditation Center in Abuja. So now we have that foreign affiliate. We have affiliate with PAI, Public Administration International in the UK. So IMA, we have this affiliation with all these agencies outside. But locally here, we don't have, apart from our normal registration with the CSC, our registration with the Center for Management Development, we have all these documentations and we have all that. So we are stepping up to see how we can start getting a relationship with the NUC to see how some of the courses we are operating, they'll be able to approve them or accredit them.
There's something that plays out. Sometime a governor somewhere in Nigeria talked about the fact that if you know cultism is important, why not put it in your CV? Say you're a member of this cult. And also at times you belong to, I have 1 or 2, 3 fellows, and I'm always very proud to say I'm a fellow of this, fellow of that. And I'd be very proud to talk about Emmanuel Business School if I leave Emmanuel Business School, and why. What stands you out?
Yeah, what stands out is that, first of all,
if I have the likes of Harvard, Lagos Business School,
yes,
and other ones I cannot remember,
exactly,
even if I'm not making a case for them.
Yes.
What is that thing that makes you stand out?
No, it's good to make a case for issue of comparison in the sense that these are business schools that are already existing. Now we are coming up with a concept. I think over time you'll be able to appreciate why we have to establish in Abuja here. One of the reasons is that I want to even bridge. If you look at, apart from the Lagos Business School and a couple of other ones, we're trying to see how we can support from the belt here, going up to the further north. I'm sure a lot of people would like to go to have some of this certification and they can move down south or go outside the country. So the rest of us being here is to bridge that gap, at the same time provide at least quality services that is desired, measurable to these ones here already mentioned. But I'm sure in no distant time you will start hearing our name, and I'm sure you will recommend a lot of people to ask.
Okay, let me give you a test case. The National Assembly has passed the Northeast Development Commission, and as soon as it is signed, it needs to take off. And they approach you as a professional who runs the school. We have a model we need to replicate to permeate the Northeast, value mindset reorientation, work on the people, those who have maybe repented from being terrorists, want to change them. And they say, we want to use your school to work on the consultants who go there to do this job. Yeah. What kind of programs do you have for this class of person? Do you have such programs?
Yeah. Are you talking about the consultants or the people who are migrating from?
The people you are going to train who will go to do the job.
Oh, okay.
Government says, okay, we want you to train.
Modules for that, especially if you're looking at who should go into that terrain, first of all, to do change management in terms of orientation, in terms of rebuilding their mindset, in terms of, okay, they are living this particular lifestyle into another lifestyle. What are the processes to take? What are the steps to take? So those ones we can still do, but in terms of the practical or theoretical or practical side of it, for what the real thing is, we need to bring in those expertise into play, yes.
Was this school set up from the point of view of passion or to make money?
It's a vision.
Okay.
It's a vision. And it's not that we're looking at making the profit immediately. There are some things we'll be doing on a pro bono basis because we intend, our intention is to grow, to be part of the system and to grow with the system. And in doing that, of course, as a business person, you won't be running at a loss because you need to take care of some bills in terms of your lease, in terms of salaries and other overheads. But be that as it may, we are not looking at a cutthroat profit at the moment. But going forward, I'm sure we will be gradually improving and expanding. But as is rightly said, it is not a capitalist plan.
Okay. Did you cut corners to put the school in place?
No.
But you have people who cut corners. What message do you have for them?
Yeah, when you see, that's where we're going to issue of professionalism. When you cut corner, it comes back to you. You don't cut corner because you intend to make profit. You need to give exactly and be transparent with your transactions and your business model. The business case must be defined from the beginning. If it is not defined, then it's from the beginning it's already wrong. So you need to define, and people working with you should understand what's your vision, what you're looking at, what's your passion about this, how do you intend, what do you want the name to, just like as you mentioned Harvard Business School. Of course, tomorrow we want to hear Emmanuel Business School everywhere. That's our key objective, and that's what we are our driving force.
They said ideas rule the world today, and give and take is all about connecting and disconnecting, and disconnecting to connect. What's your plan? What's your vision, maybe for the next 5 years, your school and other business schools in Nigeria? Where do you think they should move Nigeria to?
Yeah, I'll be very happy to see Nigeria to have moved from public sector driven economy to a private sector driven economy. Where, first of all, employment is increased, poverty is reduced, the GDP is expanded. These are the things I'm looking at. So we will synergize at some point. We will have to collaborate with the Lagos Business School and other business schools, Ibadan Business School, and some other African business school. A lot of business schools that are around. At some point, we will look for how we can synergize and see what we can come up with to speak with the government. To say, okay, at this point, this is what we are looking at as professionals in this area. I think this is what will help the government or help the economy or help build this economy. But if you ask me as a person, what I'm looking at is how do we make this country work? What are the things that should evolve? I mean, what are the things to be done? How do you create an enabling environment for business to thrive, and how will it overall grow the economy? So these are my vision. Because if the economy grows, I'm happy. I'm part of it. My children are part of it, and overall, everybody will be happy. So that's my key objective. Okay,
you have talked about the fact that the Emmanuel Business School in Abuja runs programs that fit into what government is doing across the tiers of government. Yeah. So what do you think should be the blueprint or the focus PPP-wise in Nigeria, public-private partnership?
Okay,
because there came a time government saw NGOs, CBOs as a problem, but today government has realized that they need this set of persons, and most things to work globally today has to adopt the PPP model.
Approaches.
And for a school like yours to really have impact is what you bring in. So what's your view, PPP model in Nigeria?
One thing is for the government to be able to appreciate our proficiency, our expertise. That is the first entry.
Do you have that?
Yes. If we can work our way for us to have the buy-in of government, to be able to trust or have confidence in what we can deliver, then that's a good start. So we are going to work towards that to see how we can partner with the federal government or other agencies that we can work with for them to see reasons why some of the things we are coming up with can be of help, not only to us, but even to them as a whole. Because, for instance, policy decision makers, there are certain things you need to know outside the routine. I want to produce water, I want to put borehole, I want to put road. There's many other things that you need to understand, the microeconomic side of it. What is the impact of this to the common man on the street? What I'm developing, the decision I'm making, does it have any impact? Or how does it cascade? What effect does it have to the common man? Because governance is basically for the common, for everybody, especially even for the common man. So the question is, what are we putting in place to make sure that this objective is achieved optimally? And in my own thinking is that we need to partner. Ideas, as you rightly said, is abound. And we will be happy to be part of the government in terms of providing some of these services. Even as I'm talking to you on a pro bono, we don't mind, at least to do it in a way that at least we know that we're happy that we are able to put these ideas through to government and they buy it.
I can imagine a young Nigerian boy, a young Nigerian girl who is about to do a startup. Imagine that, okay, I want to go to Emmanuel Business School to see if I can gain knowledge about startups. Do you have plans for startups?
Yeah, we have plans for startups. In fact, we have curriculum developed already for business startup. We have a certificate course for that for 6 weeks. And it's basically on business startup. Not only for a young person, even for people who are already working, who have the intention of leaving job or retiring in the next 5 years. They need to start thinking, where am I retiring to? what business am I going to do? Because if you look at it, even if you are farming, it's a business. So even if you say I'm not a businessman, as long as you're going to farm, you're going to sell your product, it's business. Because you won't be running at a loss.
Okay.
So you need to understand the rudiment, the ABC of doing business. What funds do I have? Which location am I looking at? Who are my target will be off-takers or buyers? What is my market? What is market segmentation? What are the competition? What are the risks? So these are things that you need to put in place, and these are already part of the curriculum, domesticated.
Okay, so
yes,
as a last word, I'm a prospective student for Emmanuel Business School. Where do I locate you?
Central Business, it's Minor Court, first floor, Central Business District, opposite NNPC.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Ozigi, Director, Emmanuel Business School, Abuja. I was not talking with you on inside.
Thank you, Aaron.
Up next on